All right, so starting with your Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. It's funny we're starting with them because it's the last game of this week of NFL football, but Monday night,
most relevant for playoff standings, honestly.
I mean, it is the battle of two first place teams, the Packers and the Lions, division first place rivals. You couldn't ask for anything better for Monday Night Football.
One all-time great quarterback and Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, currently the Lions offense has outscored the Packers offense by 30 points.
Love it.
It hasn't,
Going to be 60 by the end of this
Not
week.
overreacting, but I love the Lions. Not overreacting at all from last week.
Yeah, give me a money line. I don't need the points. Lions money line.
Aaron Rodgers is done. He's going back to Jeopardy.
Washed. Yeah.
Washed.
Alex Trebek at quarterback. Give me the Lions.
All right. Jordan Love for 1,000.
Yeah. Jordan Love over under. Yeah. What is his prop at? So, okay. So I'll jump in. I mean, being completely honest, I'm going to bet this. I'm not including it here on my picks because it's going to be a fan bet, which I bet last time and the Lions actually covered. But if I was seriously unbiased looking at this pick, it feels like a game. The Packers are clearly better. The Lions had a lucky comeback against San Francisco. If you look at the overreactions to week one, that should tell you that the overreaction is going to be taking the Lions. And so the line probably feels like it's slanted that way. The smart pick would just be bet the Packers to cover and win by 2 scores, I would think, which I'm not going to do. I think what I'm going to take in this, I'm going to take the over 48.5. So I think Lions defense is really bad, and the Packers defense didn't look good either. And actually, Jared Goff was pretty efficient in week one. I think that the Lions can at least score 21. Like, I think they score at least a few times, and I think the Packers win, and they're going to score more like 40. So to me, this feels like an easy over. I think it's fairly high scoring just because of lack of defenses, honestly, on both sides.
I also have the Lions over for a lot of the same reasons you brought up. Packers defense looks very questionable, and they also, after last week, I mean, honestly, they have questions on offense. They really do. And that is why I am actually picking the Lions plus 11 here as well. Jared Goff surprised me with what he was able to do.
MVP.
With, frankly, a lackluster roster around him. Like,
hey.
Well,
that's good because he can do it all.
So I think with the Packers defense being as bad as it is, I really feel like there's a lot of potential for a backdoor cover from the Lions. I could see this being, like you said, maybe it's like a 40 to 24 game or something, and they score the Lions score a touchdown with like a minute and a half left or whatever, a meaningless touchdown, but that covers the spread. So that's kind of my feelings on that game.
Nice. As a fan, I'm gonna bet the Lions plus 11. I'm not gonna actually bet it, but I'm gonna root for the Lions. They looked great last week. Packers did suck. I just hope they bench Rodgers again, but they probably won't. But knowing Rodgers, he'll have a revenge game and just go off. So yeah. History shows that, so I hate history.
Yep. So then, is there any other team that we need to talk about for Sunday? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, the Bears. I don't know. I don't know this game, honestly.
Some teams, the Bengals. Yeah, I think that's a. Well, let's jump into it. Yeah,
Bengals
what team should we discuss?
Coming to Soldier Field against the Bears.
What's the line for this?
The line is Bears -2. The over-under is over-under 7 million fans being mad at
Nagy.
Matt Nagy.
I would say Dalton. He's a nice guy, but it's Dalton. Shit, it's Nagy you're mad at. I fucked up.
So Bears -2, and the over-under is 45. Bengals are. It's one of those. This is one of those things where, since it's so early in the year, it really is hard to know exactly what the Bears are and what the Bengals are. Bengals looked really good against the Vikings, and honestly, I would equate the Bears' current level of competitiveness to the Vikings. I would have expected the Vikings to honestly beat the
Bengals.
the Bengals, but the Bengals ended up winning in overtime. It was a close one. I'm going to bet that the Bengals do not get another overtime win. I have the Bears covering and the over in this game. You can check out my other non-shoot your shot sports show called Full Press Bears, and I gave my official prediction. Actually, tonight on the show, I'll go ahead and share it with you now. I think the Bears defense comes alive, and I think that some faith is restored in the Bears offense as well. And I have the Bears winning 27-23. So Bears cover, and you just hit the over.
I like the over. I like the Bears minus. Did you say 2 or 2.5?
2. I got -2.
Okay. I do like that. I feel like it would be a comeback game for the defense. They looked shitty last week. They'll probably. Did you hear anything about practice this week? Like, did they do anything better with defense at least, or any word on that?
There's not much word about what's going on with practice necessarily.
Yeah.
But what is known is that Eddie Goldman earlier this week looked like he was going to be able to at least play some snaps, but he was downgraded to did not practice today from limited, so he's probably not going to play. Larry Borum is still out with an ankle, and Jason Peters was limited with his quad. And being that Jason Peters is 39, and technically he didn't go through all the offseason conditioning. I don't really have faith in our left tackle position, which our third stringer there is Elijah Wilkinson. So I don't know exactly what to expect from that, but that's kind of your injury report on the Bears.
Cool. And then over under how many times do you see Justin Fields? 5. I'm putting 5.
So one of my bold predictions for this week is that Justin Fields throws his first career passing touchdown. He had his first rushing touchdown last week. So I feel pretty strongly about that. I do think you're going to see more packages with him. I think you're going to see a few long attempts from him. Fields had a 130-something passer rating in the preseason when throwing 20 yards or more, which is stupid good numbers for throwing long distance. I think Nagy's going to try at least one shot with Fields because the Bengals defensive line just isn't as good as the Rams, and the Bears were doing short game against the Rams because of fear of Aaron Donald. So without that fear there, I think they might sit back a little bit more, try some longer plays. I think you see Fields for, let's see, he had 5 snaps last week. I'm going to go with, what?
Over under. 12 and a half. Over under.
I was going to go under that. I was going to set the over under at 8.5.
Okay.
Interesting.
And I would probably take the over on that, but it all depends on if Nagy's willing to give him a drive. If he gives him a drive, then you might, if Fields can sustain the drive, you're going to see well over that.
Yeah.
But if he's just putting him in at random times, it'll be interesting to see how he's used.
I think he gets multiple drives because I think the Bears are winning convincingly late in the game. Like, I think he gets 2 drives because by the end of the third quarter, the Bears are going to be up like 3 scores.
So you have the Bears covering them -2, and then
I have the Bears covering. I have the over. I think that this game is an overreaction to the first couple of weeks, and I don't know if the Bears are a great team, but I really think the Bengals are a really bad team. I know Joe Burrow looked good, but their offensive line is still hot dog water. Like, it's terrible.
So the Bears. So
another thing,
but I just don't know if the Bengals can take advantage of a bad offensive line like the Bears can.
Yeah.
Another thing I said on my other show tonight was that I feel like the space between the tier the Bengals are on and the tier the Bears are on has closed a lot based on the past week, but I still feel the Bears are a tier above where the Bengals are. And so when you look at the NFL is one of those leagues that most games overall talent ends up winning out. I would say based on that the Bears should win this game.
Especially because they're the home team. So if it's -2, what Vegas is really saying is they think Cincinnati should be favored by a point.
Right.
And I just don't believe that.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
I just don't think Cincinnati's as good as the Bears. Again, I don't think that means that the Bears are better long term. I don't think that means the Bears are a serious playoff, like Super Bowl contender. But I don't think the Bengals are even like an average team in the league. Like I think they're clearly several steps behind. So yeah, this just feels like one that they're trying to get you to take the Bears because everybody's on the Bengals. And it seems like an obvious pick to me. So, I mean, I'm going to take the over. I don't feel as good about that, but I feel very confident about Bears -2.
So I wanted to talk just since it's halftime right now in the Washington-New York game. But I know we have picks, and some of us included our picks on our board. I know for me, I have Washington covering the 3.5, and I have which they're favorited by 3.5, and then I have Washington over 40.5.
Same.
What about you boys?
Same too.
I don't. I have
Chicken.
a prop pick. I have what's already hit already.
Yeah, that worked out well for all of us. Yeah.
Scary Terry over 50 yards receiving and 1 touchdown, which was done in like the second quarter, first quarter.
Like right at the beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah.
And the odds were plus 240.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
So yeah, pretty nice way to hit that super early on in the game.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm nervous because this feels a lot like the Monday night game, like Ravens Raiders. To me, one team was clearly better than the other, but I took the favorite and it ended up being somewhat a close game. And as the game went on, it became more and more unlikely that they covered. And then they ended up flat out losing. Underdogs this week in the NFL were 12-4 covering the spread, and they were above 500 winning outright. So it makes me nervous taking a favorite. If it wasn't the Giants, I would have probably anybody else. I would have taken an underdog, but I just don't think the Giants are a good team. So
they have wheels. That's about it.
Yeah, Danny drops.
Wheels. I feel like he should be a running back because Saquon is even like. Has he done anything so far this game?
He had one big run for like 40 yards, but then everything else has been like 2 yards and less. So that'd be awesome if Danny Dimes moved to running back. That'd be sweet.
It'll be a dual running back, honestly. Like they're both.
He is a really good runner, but it's hard because it's like, would I want him to run between the tackles? No, but like he's really good scrambler.
Pretty boy, let him throw.
Yeah. So no, I think I'm feeling good. We're up 4 at halftime. I think Washington started with the ball
14-10 at halftime.
Yeah.
So we're well on pace for the over.
The Giants start with the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel good about hitting the over, and at least then I cover my loss if I lose this against the spread. So
nice.
Okay, so what else do we have on our slates?
I'll go first. I have I'll run through this pretty quick. I have Broncos -6. Let me get my numbers up here. Okay, Broncos -6. I'm not going to say that this is my lock, but it's one of my favorite picks of the week. I think Jacksonville is terrible. I think Urban Meyer is a fraud, and I think Denver is still underrated. Like they're one of those teams not a lot of people know much about, I feel like, unless you're a fan of a team in that division, and they're not getting a ton of national attention, but their defense is elite. And or like when there was conversation about Aaron Rodgers going there, they were immediately being considered like a possible Super Bowl team. And I don't think it's just because Rodgers is that good. I think because everybody knows Denver has a solid team. I think Jacksonville sucks. So I'm going to go Denver -6. I love that being below a touchdown. We've got Bills -3. I don't like taking favorites on the road, especially after how they just looked. But Bills going into Miami, to me, this just seems like the Bills are the better team. It's only a field goal. I push at a field goal. They should win this game by a field goal or more. I'm trying not to overthink it. I'm trying not to overreact to week one. Something else that's interesting is the way that the Steelers won that game. They won by not blitzing. They got pressure with like their front four. They forced, I'm blanking on the quarterback's name right now. No, for
Josh
Bills.
Allen.
Yeah, they forced Allen to make tough throws, and they got pressure with the front four. The the Dolphins blitz a lot. I think they blitz more than any other team in the league, I heard today, and I think Allen is able to pick apart a blitz. So yeah, I've got them covering. I'll run through these other ones quicker. Cowboys plus 3.5. I wanted to take an underdog just because of how well they've been doing. So as I looked through the slate, I was kind of hunting for what's the underdog I like. I know everyone's high on the Chargers right now, but the Cowboys plus 3.5. I was really impressed with Dak Prescott. And since it's plus 3.5, I think that they can be within a field goal. I've got Saints -3. I am fully going to overreact to the week 1 because I'm really high on the Saints. I think Jameis Winston's awesome, and I still am not convinced that the Panthers are going to be anything special. I like McCaffrey, but I think the Saints are clearly the better team here. 49ers -3. To me, okay, the way I look at this is lines shift and people overreact so much to week 1. All right, so you've got the 49ers at the Eagles. If you were to say week 1, based on what we thought we knew about these teams week 1, would the Niners only be favored by 3 against the Eagles? Like, it feels like it would be like 9 or 10 points. Yeah. So yeah. I'm not going to overreact to week 1.
I'd probably say like 8.5.
Like clearly more than clearly more than 3, right? So I think people are overreacting to the Lions comeback that ultimately I don't know if it mattered. And the Eagles looked good week 1, but I'm still not convinced that they're even a top team in their own division. Yeah, the Falcons, I think that game said more about the Falcons. So, I mean, I'm not a Jalen Hurts hater, but I think that the Niners are clearly the better team here. So I like this one a lot. And then as I already said, Bears, I don't know why I have it there a second time, but yeah, I've got Bears -2. So yeah, I mean, that's all my picks I have for now. I'm going to add the Lions, but I'm just not going to count it as on the records here, I don't think. And then maybe I'll add some more as we get closer. But
awesome. One
thing too, if you're listening and you bet on PointsBet, if you wait until 48 hours before the game, which maybe you don't want to wait because you can get a better line now, you can do the no juice lines betting against the spread. So normally it's like -110 if you take one team -3 or the other +3. If you bet closer to the game, you click on the game, you scroll down to like the promos or whatever, it lets you bet the line and it's just +100. So you bet $1, you actually win $1. Because you don't have the juice, which is where the sportsbook keeps some of it, like -110. You bet $1, you win 90 cents, So it's just better odds. So if you want to wait till right before the game, which is why I haven't actually placed these bets yet, and they may change a little bit when I actually place them. It's because I'm waiting for that promo. So just a heads up.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I've got a decent amount left on my slate here. I've also got Saints, but I got the line at -3.5. So I got a little more work to do than the Man Michigan Hat. You brought up underdogs. This is probably my shocking pick of the week. My major upset in terms of, this is not like a money line or anything, but I have the Texans covering the +13 against the Browns. Now, the Texans are a dumpster fire and the Browns are Super Bowl contenders, but I just feel like it is the most Cleveland Browns thing to barely eke out a win over the Texans. It just feels like something that would happen to the Browns, and so I'm leaning on history to help me out here. So I have the Texans covering +13. Plus, it's also a big number.
I think if you wait till right before the game, so many people are going to be on the Browns. I bet that number goes to 14, and I would wait and take it then, because then that push at 14 is a way better number.
Yeah. Well, thanks for discrediting that. But as a result, since I'm going with this narrative that the Browns struggle against the Texans, I'm also going with the under in this game, under 48.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if the Texans have a legitimate shot to keep it close to the Browns, I think it's going to be a very ugly game, a game where Browns fans afterwards are discussing, is Baker Mayfield having a slump now after having a pretty good year last year? So I'm going with the narrative and I'm sticking to it. So that's kind of my big shocker of the week. I've got Bills -3. I've got the over for that game, 47.5. I've got Rams -3.5 against the Colts. I'm not a believer in the Colts. I know that a lot of Colts fans are high on Carson Wentz. I'm definitely not. So I think Carson Wentz is fine, but he's not great. I think the Rams have a really good second week in a row. And yeah, so then my lock of the week, you will have to wait and find out and sign up. But believe me, it is the lock to end all locks. I feel extremely confident in this pick. So
I feel like we might all the same lock for this one too, because something we didn't mention, but
That
well,
was
yeah.
That's
but
a
we'll see.
saucy lock.
I have
Yeah,
two
it is.
locks just in case, but yeah.
So I picked the Texans to cover 13. Now I'm being bold and I'm picking the Buccaneers to cover minus 13 over the Falcons. So
Ooh.
I have some bold picks going on this week, but why not? I don't know. The Bucs are clearly a much better team than the Falcons. They did not cover against the Cowboys, but I'm trusting that they'll be able to do so against the Falcons, who, in my opinion, are much worse than the Cowboys.
They did cover, didn't they?
Did they? They beat the Cowboys.
Wait, no, they didn't
Yeah.
cover. They got the over.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah, that's
minus.
right.
They were minus
Like-
7, weren't they? And they
Yeah, you're right.
won by a field goal or
Yep,
something.
yep. That's right.
Then I've got Chiefs minus 3.5. I feel like, Chiefs Ravens is a really fun, interesting game at the beginning of the season, but the Ravens with their running back problems they're just not going to be on the same level as the Chiefs, in my opinion. The Chiefs have trouble covering oftentimes, but at 3.5, I felt like that was a reasonable enough number that I could take that. I've got Seahawks minus 6 because I think the Titans are frauds. And I've got Broncos minus 6 because I also think the Jaguars are frauds.
Yes.
Those are my NFL picks.
Fade the Titans. Titans suck.
Awesome. So here are my picks. I have a bunch of overs because I feel like it's going to be over a week because last week wasn't that crazy. But I got the Bills, Dolphins over 47.5. Bears minus 2.5. Broncos minus 3.5. I do have the
You got
Browns.
the Broncos. Wait, hold on. You got the Broncos at minus 3.5?
That's what I found it at. But
whoa.
yeah.
I have minus 6 on the Broncos.
Oh,
If you
shit.
got it early enough, that line might have just moved that much.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ooh,
I'm jealous.
that's a good bet.
I know.
That's
Well,
a
maybe I
lot
wrote it
right
wrong.
there.
I'm not sure. But that's why. Well, maybe it's 5.5. Wait, that looks right.
Even that's good, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
wild.
because 5.5, you just need 2 field goals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got the Browns and Texans over 48. I was thinking Baker Mayfield will come back to sling it. Tyrod Taylor sling it maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel an over there. I have the Raiders plus 6.5. Who are they facing?
Raiders are facing.
Your mom.
Oh,
The Steelers.
yeah. I feel it's an upset for some reason. I feel the Raiders are going to upset the Steelers. It'll be wild.
Raiders.
We'll see
It
what
was a
that
big,
happens.
good
That's
primetime game. Yeah.
That's a bold prediction.
That was a good Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Shout out to PointsBet and the Darren Waller booster.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we've hit 2 boosters in a row now.
Yeah, I know. And they're
primetime
both that's like prop bets too. They're great.
Yeah, those are best. The booster odd prop bets where it's like this
Mhm.
player to have this many yards and a touchdown. Those are, awesome.
Oh, by the way, I had a lock for a prop bet for you, by the way, for those who are interested. Maybe I'll include it in the... Yeah, you know what? If you want to know about my lock for a prop bet, you've got to get that email sign up,
Yeah.
Good job.
and you'll find out. It does have to do with the Bears running game, though. I will tell you.
Where do you
Ooh.
sign up for that again? At our website, right?
Yeah.
For the email?
Shootershotsports.com.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
/69.
There's no slash.
420.
I have the Pats minus 5.5.
Ooh, that's an interesting game.
Yeah. I feel
'Cause-
Mac Jones. can
Yeah,
do it.
because the Pats, I thought the Pats were going to beat the Dolphins last week, and they did
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
The Jets are not good, but I don't know. I think it's an interesting game.
These are just all eyeball tests, by the way. So I just
Yeah.
went down the line. I'm like, bam, 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 bam. How I felt about last week. I have the Saints minus 3.5. The 49ers and Eagles over 50. I don't know why, but I feel like Jalen Hurts might just throw it a lot. And then is Jimmy G playing, I'm not even
probably still starting. Last week
Yeah.
though, yeah,
Lance
he
just
started,
played-
but they mixed Lance in a lot. Yeah,
Sure. Sir Lancelot, nice.
nice. Yeah.
I got more overs for you guys. I got the Cowboys and Chargers over 55.5, which is pretty big.
I like that.
I
And
do like
then-
that.
I'm adding that to my list. What was it?
Cowboys Chargers
What was the over? Actually, I can
55.5.
just see what it is now. Yeah, I'm gonna bet that too.
It might have changed. These might vary because I checked these like right before the show. So
Let me look live. My line, which again, we're on PointsBet Indiana. You're on Illinois,
You know what?
so the line might be different, but over 55.
I'm gonna
I'm betting
piggyback some of these too because I like both of those Cowboy picks. The Cowboys plus 3.5 and the over under.
yeah.
I'm betting the over 55 Cowboys right now.
And then my
So I like
last one was Chiefs Ravens over 54.5 because I just
Let
felt
the
it's gonna be a
record show
shootout.
that I've added that to my slate as well. Okay, sorry, Richie. What was your last one? You just said
Chiefs Ravens over 54.5.
Cool,
You
cool.
had to put the over at that, like Chiefs
Yeah.
Ravens. Yeah,
I think the
one of those.
Chiefs now going on. This is the second week in a row that the game they are in is the highest over under, which is probably going to be a common theme all year. And I think normally the Giants, because last year they were so good to the under and their offense is bad, they're always going to be in the game that has the lowest total, which
Yep.
again was this week. So
awesome. And then I'll say my lock for the newsletter. So
That's right.
Yup.
You guys, I'm serious. Sign up for that. There's gonna be a lot of good content on there and basically free money. So
And maybe
Yep.
some suggestive photographs of the three of us. Maybe.
with the free money.
No guarantees, but maybe.
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a promo that
True fans only.
maybe we'll have a promo that if you can get like maybe we'll have like a reward system for if you can get X amount of subscribers. Like if you can refer 20 friends to subscribe to it, then maybe you can get like a sexy wall calendar of
I'm gonna
us.
actually make a brand new
I'll
like
write your
landing page.
email address on my chest in whipped cream.
I'll probably do a scorecast.shootyourshotsports.com so we could get like just betting people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll just do that. Yeah,
That's
so,
true. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the other one too to be scorecast.shootyourshotsports. Awesome.
Cool.
And if you ever want to call into the show, our number is 1-800-GAMBLER, and we'd love to have you on and talk to you.
We should have a call-in line. That'd be sweet. Are we
We
live
actually-
right now on Twitch or anything, or are we just
No,
posting
but
after?
Jimbo
Okay.
actually has a call line for us, and there's like a touch tone. Like 1 goes to live studio, 2 goes into like I think marketing, 3 goes into like our actual like cell phone. So
If you would actually call into the show, if we had a number, comment below and let us know you would call in.
yeah,
Maybe we'll do that.
that'd be fun. You could tell us our picks, and you could yell at us for like
You can give us your locks.
Yeah.
lock for
Just-
locks.
Please do not cut off your hair and send your hair to us, though. That's not what we mean by giving us
I
your
will
locks.
accept hair.
All right.
I
Well,
love
for
huge
myself.
locks.
one of us will.
I love huge
Huge,
locks.
thick locks.
The bigger the
I don't know.
better.
I kind of dread locks, so
Nice. Man, every time somebody catches the ball and falls down, the defense runs over and touches him. Eddie Jackson is. I wonder if he's watching this game.
Yeah, I think we're all watching this game.
the only thing on to watch. Anyway, so once again, please go bet with us on PointsBet. Frustrate is your promo code you want to use there. Sign
It'll
up
be the
at-
newsletter, so check for that. We'll give you a link.
Yeah. Sign up for that. Click on the link. You want to do that. Let's have a good week. Let's make some money. Don't ever forget that we won't be wrong.